On average, we spend at least over 10 and a half hours looking at screens every day, and this really affects our quality of sleep. So I'm really excited to be speaking with Charmaine, who is the co-founder of UMay Care, which is a thermal meditation device to help reset the effects of screen time on your sleep. So thanks so much for joining me. It'd be so great to learn more about the products.
Yeah, so UMay Rest is a thermal meditation device, and it's really been inspired around the bedtime routine. We wanted to focus on the effects of screen time on our health. So in the last 10 years, the amount of time we're spending on screens has decreased dramatically. So it's over 10 hours, like you said. And one of the things we focused on first was the effects to our eyes. So when we're looking at screens all day, what most people don't realize is that we're not blinking as often as we should. And there's a reduction in blink rate by about 50 to 70%. So the reason the blink is important is because every time the eyelids come into contact with each other, there's a little bit of oil that's released from the gland. And that gland is there to protect the tears from evaporating. So when we're looking at screens all day and our eyes are wide open, they're starting to dry out, so we experience digital eye strain, which is itchy, burning, red, dry eyes. So one of the things we focused on was providing heat therapy to help with the relaxation of the eyes. We also realized that about 90% of us are also looking at our phones up until the last minute that we fall asleep. So we started to look at sleep quality and stress, and recently the World Health Organization named burnout an official medical diagnosis. So what we did is we combine variable temperature as well as vibration to stimulate the nervous system into a relaxed state, as well as a guided breathing exercise through vibration, all into a 7-minute session that someone would do right before going to sleep.
So why 7 minutes then?
So it takes about 5 minutes to get some type of benefit in terms of the heat on the eyes, but we found that people felt so relaxed that they just wanted a little bit longer. So we increased it to 7. It's also about 12 minutes on average that it takes for people to fall asleep. So we wanted people to just subtly get into that restful state and have the device and treatment seamlessly kind of fit into their routine, so they can take it off right before falling.
And looking at the product design, can you talk me through the decision to not have like a band attached to it?
Yeah, good question. And we get asked that quite a bit. We really wanted people to focus on bedtime and not give them another reason to, put it on while they're watching TV or doing something else. So we avoided the strap, and it forces people to lie down while using it. We also only allowed one button on the device. We wanted it to be very simple to use. It's wireless and rechargeable, so it should be something that's easy for people to integrate into their routine.
And can you talk me through the technology that's embedded in this device as well?
So what we use is there's an element inside the device that allows the device to heat as well as cool, and then we use haptic feedback to deliver the vibration signal. So the user can easily kind of press their way through the different settings. So we have a meditative heat setting, and then we have a thermal cooling setting, which helps people with puffy eyes or allergy symptoms that they may like to use first thing in the morning. So it delivers a cold compress as well. And then our thermal meditation setting is the combination of thermal therapy with guided breathing.
So is this something that you feel like you could partner up with an app such as maybe Calm and all of those other meditation apps, or even with there's another startup called Cocoon, and they have noise cancelling headphones to help you sleep. Is this something that you feel like is part of a combination of products that people could use to help get better sleep?
Potentially, and I think it's becoming more and more difficult for consumers because there's a lot of products coming out. There's a lot of different ways that data is being utilized. So we'll be shipping early spring, so it'll be one of the things we'll be exploring in terms of how does this best fit in for consumers. But our focus is really on allowing consumers to have a simplicity experience. So the device is actually also Bluetooth enabled, and in our next phase we'll be also developing an app that goes alongside this to help kind of customize the settings, guide meditations, to give them a little bit more flexibility.
There seems to be an advent in sleep tech at the moment. Why do you think that there's such a market need for this? Why are people waking up to the fact that sleep is so important?
So important. Well, I think stress, when the World Health Organization recognized how important stress is as a medical diagnosis and burnout, we're starting to see that it's not as uncommon, and there's more and more studies coming out that report sleep as a big benefit in improving those symptoms. But when we're so constantly connected and you look at the stats of screen time and our constant connection, it's just becoming more and more difficult for people to find space and rest. And so our focus really became on not just the eye care symptoms, but also how do we give people an opportunity to integrate space in their day to make time for that. So that's where the bedtime routine became exciting for us. Yeah.
And so what kind of success have you had from any studies that you've done so far, or with consumers, feedback that you've had? Do you know if there's like any proof showing that this product works?
Yeah. So we've done a lot of exposures like this, trade shows, had people try it, and we've got great feedback from that. We've also done internal testing and case studies. Yeah, and the evidence that we've seen through that has been amazing. A lot of it has been, as early as 2 weeks, people are starting to notice benefits. And when we start to approach them from the eye care symptoms and how their eyes are feeling, they start to comment about their sleep. And, I actually feel better, and I'm going to bed a little bit earlier than I used to. So those are some of the things we started to pick up on. Once we do our commercial units, we'll also start to kind of hone in on more of the research side of things and try to validate more of that research.
And so what are you hoping to achieve at CES by exhibiting your products?
I think we've achieved a lot of what we've been hoping is really just to get people to try it and to give us their feedback and have an experience that hopefully we leave them something that's unique enough that empowers them and motivates them to create space in their day, whether it's with our device or with something else where they can kind of have a tangible experience and say, no, I want to take 5 minutes to rest and have that experience. I think that's really the impact that we want to have.
And make it something that's important for them to do as well.
Yeah.
And so where can people find this product?
So we're actually not shipping yet. We're anticipating in spring of this year. They can go on our website, UMay.care, and sign up and put their name on a wait list, and then we'll inform them when we're ready for pre-orders and shipping from there.
Thank you so much for speaking with me. Can I try out the product?
Of course. Yeah.
Thank you.